The search for the missing teenager, Jay Slater, has now entered its fifth day in Tenerife. It's after he was last heard from on Monday morning.
Well, a friend of his has hit out at the police in Spain, saying they're not doing enough.
Well, the 19-year-old called a friend to say he was lost with no water and his phone was on 1% battery.
Let's talk to former Scotland Yard detective Peter Bleksley. Peter, I mean, this is so similar to the conversation we were having about Michael Mosley, isn't it? And I hate to say we know how that one worked out. I mean, day 5 in these conditions, it doesn't look good, does it?
No, I'm afraid it doesn't. As Ellie alluded to, no battery in his phone, no water, unfamiliar terrain. Apparently he'd injured his leg on a cactus and simply didn't know where he was or the right direction to travel. So putting all of those matters together, I'm afraid it paints a rather gloomy picture. And with each and every passing day, I fear that this may well be a story that does not have a happy ending.
Well, the fifth day of this search, Peter, is very distressing for so many people, but especially for Jay Slater's mother. We heard from her yesterday. She thinks that this could also be a story of kidnap, doesn't she? She was talking about a Snapchat that she had received, telling her to kiss her son goodbye. How do you think police detectives in Spain will be dealing with that?
Well, we shall have to simply wait and see. There is, of course, a very famous case across the world which was conducted by the Portuguese police, and I'm talking about the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. And that investigation, particularly in the early stages, fell way short of what you would have expected with a similar investigation had that been conducted in the UK, for example. With regards to the actual search, I think the Spanish authorities have probably put out as many resources as they were able to summons in a short space of time. But there must very much be a detective input here, speaking to Jay's mother, speaking to other people who may have been at the music festival that we know he was at on Sunday evening, perhaps even the last people that were to see Jay. They would very much need to be interviewed. So my advice to the investigators would be consider all options. Don't get drawn down a particular rabbit hole, because so often in cases like this, you can be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it must be hugely difficult when there are all these different avenues to pursue, Peter. I mean, from an investigation point of view, how do you avoid getting pulled down that rabbit hole?
Keep all options open. Absolutely anything is possible. Keep all options on the table, investigate all of them, and only when a particular theory or line of investigation has been ruled out entirely, irrevocably, then do you move on or consider the remaining options. But yeah, everything's got to be on the table, everything has to be considered, and everything needs to be investigated.
A friend of Jay has claimed that Spanish police are not doing enough. They say that they've been too slow to act. In situations like this, Peter, is time of the essence? Is it important to act quickly, or do you need to be very methodical about things?
Yes, of course. You're always up against a ticking clock with any form of investigation. And the sooner evidence can be gathered, then the more beneficial that is for any investigation. I can understand frustrations with the authorities out there, and I'm not going to leap wholeheartedly to the defence of the Spanish, but we do know they've utilised a helicopter, drones, search dogs, a mountain rescue team, firefighters who are experienced in this terrain with fighting wildfires, for example, and police officers. So I'm sure they've deployed everything that they could do. Whether they draw in other resources from the mainland, for example, we will simply have to wait and see.
OK, Peter, for now, thanks very much indeed.